What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Rum Pure Sports MLB Swing for the Fences show. We're going to break down this, looks like 10-game MLB slate tonight. No weather. We have some good pitching. Offense, I think, might be a little bit lacking, but we'll go through and talk through the whole thing and see if we can produce some winners for tonight. Joined by my two boys, JT Hayes, DC. DC, I figured you wouldn't be here today. I saw Holden was at the Rockies game with his son. I figured it would have been a trio, you, Holden, and his son at the game today, but I'm glad you made it here.
I had a couple tough choices today. So, like one, go to the Rockies doubleheader. I found out Holden was going there. It was a little too close proximity to possibly meeting Holden in person. I couldn't risk that. But I also didn't want to be on the show because I have a bet to pay off to Mr. JT Hayes, where I gotta cut my hair here live on air, shave a strip down the middle of my hair. I'm not gonna do the full. I got my buzzer. I'm not gonna do the full shave on air because that's just gonna take too much time. No one wants to see that. But I'll shave a strip right down the middle, where my only choice from there would be to shave the rest of my head. So I will do that at some point during the show for you guys.
Oh gosh, thank God I switched from NBA to MLB. I am so excited to see that the people are excited. And if Mangone or Simon, make sure we get a tweet out so everyone knows that
Oh no,
DC will be
I was trying to lay low on that part, but all right.
Yeah, we got to build this up. So Simon, if you could do that for us, make sure we get a tweet out letting everyone know DC's paying up on the head shaving bet. JT, the time has come. I mean, this is exciting stuff.
I mean, first of all, you got to also let them know in Discord. I might do that myself to tune into the show but I'll tell you, I never questioned the integrity of DC. I mean, everywhere I went the last week, since Matt Chapman hit that absolute bomb that I knew he was going to hit, people were asking, say, when's he going to, what's going on? Is he welching? I said, no, of course not. Of course not. He had a bris to go to. It was a family event. Couldn't shave the head. I was on a flight from Atlanta to LA, Orange County. Someone stopped me as they were going by. They said, hey, when is DC shaving his head? I said, look, no problem. He just went to get his 5th vaccine shot. He's been busy.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. And here we are. And I am so excited. I'm so proud. I couldn't be happier. DC won't even make any bets with me now because he's nervous.
No, yeah, it's I've learned that I shouldn't make bets where it's just a straight up free roll for the other person. I can't win anything on the other side. But I felt so confident that that Chapman wouldn't take my boy McClanahan deep. I was willing to put my, I wouldn't say luxurious head of hair here. I'm not a Holden over here. I got a few hairs up there. Put it on the line for nothing on the other side, and I think he struck him out the first at bat. I was feeling pretty good. I was out for my.
You were feeling all of your oats.
Yeah. I was out for my daily walk here.
Back. I mean,
I was sweating on the MLB app, and I'm seeing in-play runs with Chapman at the plate. I said, "Oh no, this isn't good. This is not good at all." So here we are.
Hey, no, you might like it. I mean, moving forward, you might have the same hairdo as JT Hayes. Might keep it, right? Is there a chance?
You never know. Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe it's good mojo. I get back in the winner's circle tonight. Maybe I play a Matt Chapman tonight on the night when I've got to shave my head. Could work out. So it could work out for the best in the end.
Yeah, but like I said, we got to make sure we get this tweeted out so the people know to tune in to see this. Just active paying up a debt to the great JT Hayes. Definitely excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to, like I said, break down the whole slate. Before we do so, do us that favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, tell your friends DC's shaving his head so we can get these numbers up. Also, we still have that promo going, RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first payment on a monthly package at Run Pure Sports. That is RPS Heater 25. The price of admission covers everything on the site. All sports, one price. We're not going to upcharge you when these new sports start up. One price, everything on the site. RPS Heater 25 is the promo code. Let's go ahead and hop into the pitchers. And, at first glance for me, this is more of a pitching slate opposed to a hitting slate. I, especially in cash games, will be prioritizing pitching. For some reason, DraftKings refuses to price these pitchers adequately. Got Garrett Cole priced at $10,500. It's just, to me, way too cheap. I think he's a guy that I'll be locking into my lineups they're just very hesitant to go much higher than this range for these pitchers, and some of them to me clearly should be up there. Woodruff right behind him at 9.8. I think he's a phenomenal play too. We've seen massive upside for him recently. 9.8K, not a crazy price tag, not all that difficult to get overweight on him. When you come down, we have some cheaper options too. I don't mind Gallen at 9K flat. I think he's a fine option. Let's go ahead and just kind of talk about this upper tier, maybe 8K and above, and then we'll talk about the other guys cheaper. I'm going to give it to the man that's shaving his head today first. Thoughts here at the pitcher position in the upper tier.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of really good options, not only in the upper tier, but kind of throughout the slate. Like you said right off the bat, going to be a little bit of a tough slate to find good offensive spots, right? I think it's one of those slates where maybe you can kind of mix and match pitching to some extent, and kind of stick with the few good offenses that we really have. I mean, Garrett Cole up top, 10.5, it's too cheap for him. It really is. He's just so consistent, right? Like, the thing about Cole is he brings the tremendous upside, but also the tremendous floor. When you have both, he's a great option. Woodruff's been fantastic. I don't think Woodruff is quite on the tier of pitcher, ability that Cole is, but he's not far behind. Wheeler gets a pretty weak Washington team. I have him behind Woodruff and Cole, but I mean, a good option too. They're letting him throw 110 pitches every game. He's been fantastic. Gallen, not quite on the level of these guys for me, but you could go there. And then Danny Duffy. I mean, dude has been lights out this year, coming off a little bit of a rough start last time out, but still 6 strikeouts in that game. He gets the same Detroit team he dominated a couple starts ago. Detroit, I recommended against Singer yesterday. Detroit's going to be, I think, going forward a lot better against righties than they are lefties. So I'm in on Danny Duffy even here, 8,900. It's weird when he's priced so close to guys like Cole and Woodruff, but I don't mind it. And then I guess I would round out this tier with Julio Urias, who gets a Seattle team striking out 30% of the time against lefties. He's been fantastic. It's kind of splitting hairs between some of these guys a little bit. That's just the truth of the matter. So kind of a tough call between this top tier.
Yeah, I really like the pitching options today. I think, like I said, there's 4 or 5 different ways to go. I'm definitely going to be on Cole. I'm going to have Woodruff, but if you're MMEing, I see no reason to not mix in, 4 or 5 of these guys in the upper tier. JT Hayes, talk to me about this upper tier of the pitcher position.
Yeah, I think Cole, the only downside to Cole is he's going to be 60% owned. At least that's the projection right now. But he clearly has the most upside of anybody on this slate at that price. Tampa Bay striking out 25% of the time. Of late, they seem even less competent offensively. Jordan Montgomery, obviously a left-handed pitcher, but still mowed them down last night with pretty much ease. I mean, outside of a Mike Zunino home run, you've got Woodruff in a really good matchup against a pretty much all right-handed hitting St. Louis Cardinals team. Zach Gallen is the guy who I think we saw his talent somewhat last year. He's sort of been middling to start the season. He had an innings limit to begin, but look, I think we want to make this Miami Marlins team. We want them to be good. And I played one Miami lineup last night. And then after the slate locked, I looked at it and I said, well, all these guys' prices are in the mid 4K range. What do I really expect them to do here? And they got dominated again, this time by Madison Bumgarner. They're striking out 29% of the time against right-handed pitching. So Gallen at 9K, if I'm paying in that range, I think I'm going to go him over Duffy now. But, I mean, Detroit, 38% strikeout rate against lefties, a 35 weighted runs creation plus. They are just doing absolutely nothing. My concern with that matchup is, one, I just don't think Danny Duffy is this good, but he has been so far this year. And I think we're seeing A.J. Hinch's pedigree and involvement in that team sort of see some difference in the way that the Tigers are playing. He's putting out better lineups. I liked Barrios on Saturday until that lineup came out. He put up a really good lineup against a pitcher like Barrios. So that's kind of where I see those pitchers at the top range.
Yeah, and in the chat, Solid Pick says Woodruff can match Cole for way cheaper. Yeah, no one's saying he can't. Like, Woodruff can definitely match Cole, and but it's not for way cheaper. I mean,
I was going to say it's not way cheaper. It's like one like moderate upgraded one hitter.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I agree with the first part. Like, yes,
yeah.
Woodruff can clearly match Cole. No one's saying he can't, but for way cheaper, no, it's not way cheaper. $700, especially on this slate with the hitting kind of iffy. Like, no, not for way cheaper. JT, any interest in some of these cheaper pitchers down at the bottom? Or are you going to be more focused on this top tier? Because for me personally, in cash games, I'm definitely going to be more focused on the top tier.
Yeah, I think primarily my priority here, and you talked about it, right? Paying up for bats so far this year not been the way to go. There just isn't a lot of offense. Stacking is even a little bit difficult because there's just the offense seems to be spread out a lot more, and that may change. But to start the season, that's the way it is. But that being said, there are a couple of guys, and I don't think I'll stray too much from this group. There's Hyun-Jin Ryu at 7-1 here in Atlanta against the Braves. The Braves, surprisingly, have been really bad against left-handed pitching to start the year, striking out 26% of the time with a 74 weighted runs creation metric. And look, Ryu is the guy that I think I roster him twice a year. I think the only time I rostered him last year was in this same spot against the Braves, because you give the Braves a guy who's throwing 100 miles an hour, they're going to hit him all around the park. This is the tough kind of pitcher for them. And Ryu has done well in these matchups. So 7-1 on DraftKings is a pretty good price. If you wanted to, say, stack a team that I think will be interested in, which is the Dodgers, you can easily pair him with Cole or Gallen or Woodruff. And then I don't even mind. I haven't decided if I'm going to go here, but I need to say it because, one, it'll give you guys a chance to maybe laugh at me. But two, I don't even mind John Gant at 6.9 on DraftKings against a Milwaukee team that has been plagued by injuries, is watered down, and the metrics on this team, 24% strikeout rate and a 59 weighted runs creation plus. So if it gives you the flexibility to get the Dodgers, I might actually have some John Gant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for picking on teams like the Brewers, like the Tigers, so I don't hate that call if I'm going cheap. DC, any cheapies for you, or are you gonna kind of be focused more on this upper tier?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many good pitchers at the upper end, and we've seen the hitter pricing be kind of soft this year in general. So you can generally find some pretty good cheap bats. I don't see as many on this slate, to be honest. Partly because it's less games, right? We got 10 games, and then just because so many good pitchers are out there, that kind of narrows down the hitting pool that you want to choose from. So I do think you have to sacrifice a little bit to roster two of the high-end pitchers, just because there's not that many good hitters in good spots to choose from on this slate. So, yeah, I think spending down is a fine option. I looked at Gant, like JT, just because of the matchup, right? Like Milwaukee's they're atrocious. But I can't do it with Gant. He's just been pretty bad himself. I know the results have been okay, but he's averaging like 3.5 walks per game. A guy that you kind of question whether he's going to be able to go deep anyway. So I see too much risk with him. I think in any matchup he could fail, just because I don't think he's very good. His velocity's down a little bit this year. Ryu, I think, is interesting for sure. I mean, I played Robbie Ray against the Braves yesterday. I think I got him at 2-3% ownership, something like that. He got double-digit strikeouts. The numbers for the Braves so far against lefties on the season are awful. I don't really expect that to continue. I mean, I talked about this yesterday. Obviously Acuna can crush lefties. We know Ozzie Albies can do it. He's been terrific against lefties for years. Freeman can obviously hit them. Ozuna, Riley, Swanson. If you actually look at the individual matchups, do I think these guys all suck against lefties? No, I don't. So I don't really trust the numbers to date. So I guess that's enough to get me off of Ryu. Although I will say, in Atlanta, 50 to 55 degrees, I mean, that's really, really uncharacteristically cool weather. So it won't play like the hitter's park that it usually does. And Max Fried is a guy I'm looking at if I want to spend down. Now, I don't like this matchup against the Blue Jays, but digging into Fried a little bit today, I don't really see anything wrong with him. I know the results have been awful. If you look at his ERA and WHIP and all that stuff, he looks terrible. But if you dig in further than that, look at his individual pitches, look at his swinging strike rate, first pitch strike rate, chase rate, all of that stuff that I think is more predictive than just a few games of actual, ERA type results. I think Fried's fine. I think he's the exact same pitcher he was last year, essentially. And at 6,100, I mean, he was an 8 to 9K pitcher probably last year. I still think he's that guy. I really do. Don't love the matchup, but the truth of the matter is Blue Jays have been middle of the road against lefties so far this year. It's going to play like a pitcher's park. It's, they lose the DH. Ryu can't hit whatsoever. So, yeah, Max Fried, 6,100. He's my cheap guy tonight.
JT, you want to touch on that? I know you're a Braves guy. Any interest in Fried?
I don't know, and I haven't seen, because I did look at him a little bit today, and I've got Toronto as being much better against left-handers, a 128 weighted run creation plus, only a 21% strikeout rate. DC's right, though. It is cool here. I was just outside. It's in the low 50s. It's also damp just because it was raining most of the day. So it's not a hitter-friendly environment. There's just so much power in this Detroit team. I mean, Fried is, like you said, probably 2,500 too cheap for his talent level. I have to dig in and see, because I know he was on a little bit of a restriction his first start against Washington back from the IL last week, in which he pitched very well. I just don't know how long the leash is. Now, the Atlanta bullpen is so awful that they may have decided, all right, one game with restrictions is enough, because Bryce Wilson, though, gave them a nice start yesterday. It was those 2-3 innings with the bullpen that was terrible. So have to find out about his leash a little bit. The price, it's not going to get better. It's just, I think a lot of that price is driven by this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like Fried, the reasons for his struggles, it's just kind of like his strikeout rate's actually the highest it's ever been. He's allowing a 460 BABIP. Is just like, okay, this is completely fluky. Last year, his home run to fly ball rate was 5%. This year, it's 29%. The fastball, like I said, all the velocity, movement, pitches on, everything looks just fine. It's just been 16. You don't want to call it necessarily bad luck because it's happened to him, but I see no reason why he wouldn't turn it around soon. Like JT said, it's not like they've got some killer bullpen to go to pull him early. I think if he's pitching well, it was a hamstring injury, right, JT, that he had, I think so. It was something, not an arm injury. So he should be fine, right? I mean, most likely he should be good to go here. So yeah, I'll have some Fried for sure at 6,100.
Yeah, definitely don't hate that. But like we said in the opening, I think this is a slate where you're more focused on your pitching, getting your pitching core down, and then kind of travel into the offenses, which is somewhat opposite, especially in tournaments. I mean, in tournaments, obviously you want to make sure you have your hitters, and on most slates you can just go ahead and not necessarily whatever pitcher you get, but you're a little more flexible at the pitcher position. This slate for me is a little bit different, especially in cash games. Like, you want to nail down your pitchers, and it's kind of like JT said, been the nature of this MLB season. Really, the pitchers have provided the stability. The hitting has kind of been, all over the map a little bit. So we'll see how that pans out through the course of the season. I think that will flip at some point when the weather, around the country starts to warm up. And then, we see some of these ballparks really turn into hitter friendly environments. But as it stands now, modest temperatures around the country, I think, kind of playing a role in these offenses. And, their inconsistencies, I guess you could say.
I think strategically the biggest problem with paying down for a guy like Fried or Ryu is that there's so many good pitchers at the top that they really do need to perform, right? Or else you're going to be in quite a bit of hole, because two of these guys at the top, I think, are going to have good, at least two of them, maybe more than that even. So you could put yourself in a little bit of a hole, but there's enough of a price difference between Fried and kind of the top end, right? Fried all the way down to 6,100 that you do get to upgrade, 3, 4, 5 hitters that if you're paying up for two guys, those lineups that you're competing against won't necessarily have access to those same hitters. So if you're paying down for Fried, I would definitely try to spend all your salary just to get guys that, the lineups that aren't spending down, that they can't get them, right? And most of the good hitters that you want tonight are pretty expensive just because there's not that many good spots.
Yep. Totally agree. Let's go ahead and start talking about some of these hitters. Well, unfortunately, the position we're about to go to, there's not many to talk about, but that's the catcher position. And, on this slate, for me personally, I'm prioritizing pitcher. That's kind of what I said. I will most likely be saving money at this position, especially in cash games. I want to get two of those big pitchers that we talked about. Catcher is a great spot to go ahead and save. I mean, the one guy I think that does have a modest price tag that you could pay up for. It's not a full spend up, but Salvador Perez, 4.6K. I think he's a guy that's in the conversation at the catcher position. Outside of him, I'll be looking to save money It's kind of hard at this point to really pinpoint who that's going to be. Catcher is a position where we see a lot of different guys in and out of the lineups on a daily basis. So most likely punting this position. I'm going to definitely play Cole. Like I said, I'm going to probably spend up for my second spot at pitcher. So for me, this is going to be a punt position. Need to see who's in these lineups when they start to come out, but I'm going to be looking to save money at the position. JT Hayes kind of talked to me about catcher.
Yeah, I agree with you. Catcher is pretty ugly tonight. I mean, I looked at, like I said, I talked about the Dodgers, and then I just went and did a double take at some of the prices. The first four in the order, you're going to be paying close to $6K for. Will Smith 5.5. That's kind of almost at the too much point for the catcher position, I think. So there's a guy, actually, I kicked myself last night because I had him in every lineup on Sunday, because over the course of the last 5-6 days, he had a 100% fly ball rate and a 50% walk rate. And that's Yasmani Grandal. And last night, the home run came, of course, the night that I don't roster him. I like him again. I prefer him normally from the left side of the plate, but I don't know how long Jay Happ is going to be in this game if things go right for the White Sox. So Grandal is a guy that I think you can look at. And then after that, I mean, yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think you're right. I think it's going to be punting, maybe down to Maldonado at 2.8 on the Astros, or yeah, that's pretty much it so far, at least on the lineups that are out.
Yeah, not many lineups out. And I mean, as it stands now, there's nothing appealing for punt options either. So we'll need to see what happens as these lineups continue to roll out. DC, what are your overall thoughts here at catcher?
Yeah, kind of tough tonight. I do think paying up for those top guys is okay. Will Smith, I've mentioned this a few times, been much better against right-handers. And, if you're on the Dodgers, I think I would want to include Will Smith if he's in the lineup. We'll see. Carson Kelly, it's kind of unclear who's going to start for Miami, to the point where if you're scrolling through DraftKings and the pitchers, at least over here, they just unlock their entire pitching staff for probable pitchers. So I think it's going to be Detweiler. I think he's going to open. He swings pitches from the left side. He's pretty awful. So Carson Kelly would get that first at bat.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. I was wondering why there's so many damn pitchers. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I was wondering that at first too. What's going on here? But that's what happened. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Carson Kelly, I mean, he's been crushing it this year. I think he'll get that first at bat against Detweiler in the first inning. And then roof open in Arizona, going to be 90 degrees there, so ball should be flying. And then after that, scheduled is Nick Neidert, who I think is one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball. So should be good matchups for Kelly all the way through. I mean, Garver against a lefty, it's Dallas Keuchel, who I don't like to roster guys against just because it's so many ground balls. But still, Garver against a lefty, that's something that I'm going to be interested in anyway. Perez is fine, like you mentioned. Even Gary Sanchez, I think, is okay against Yarbrough, who's kind of a soft tosser, right? So you're not super worried about the strikeouts there with Sanchez, which is sometimes an issue for him. So some options. And then, I mean, if you want to just punt this one entirely, Danny Jansen's 2,400. He's played a little bit better recently. And then the guy, we'll see if he's in the lineup. Obviously like Carson Kelly, but Dalton Varsho might be playing center field for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's listed catcher outfield, but he's a good enough hitter, or at least the Diamondbacks think he is, that they're willing to basically play a catcher in center field in the lineup, right? So he's not a defensive, he's not good enough defensively to play catcher actually, but he's a good enough hitter that they're willing to play him in the outfield. So he's 2,900. He'd probably be hitting eighth if he's in there, but I wouldn't mind punting on him if he is in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty gross position as it stands right now. Just really need to see who's in these lineups when they start rolling out. All right, well, let's head on over to first base. And at first base, we have some options. I think we have a couple, maybe one spend, a couple mid-tier options, and then one punt that I really like. The punt that I like a lot, Vogelbach, 2.5K. I mean, He's basically a full punt, 2.5K. He has home run upside. So you kind of get that bonus of, punting and saving salary, and you get the upside, the home run upside that Vogelbach brings to the plate. So definitely like him at 2.5K. I think he's definitely a guy to consider for cash games to save some money. If you're going to spend, well, I mean, not full spend, but I mean, you have Hoskins, 4.1K against John Lester. I don't hate that. Another guy that obviously has a lot of upside. Asdrubal Cabrera, 3.7K. Can also play him at third base. Probably would prefer to play him at third base, actually. Then for spending up, I don't hate Max Muncy, 5.5K. In that game against the Dodgers, one of the higher, on the Dodgers, one of the higher team totals on the slate. So don't hate Muncy at 5.5K. DC, thoughts here at first base?
Yeah, they finally priced up Shohei Ohtani, right? We don't get to play him at like 4,200 anymore, up to 5,700, where he belongs, frankly. But yeah, I was a little sad to see that because now he's probably going to be up there the rest of the year. Pretty cool yesterday. Saw him go from pitching 7 or 8 innings, and then he went to right field to finish the game. So gloves are off for Ohtani. Fun player to watch for sure. Yeah, all the guys you mentioned, Hoop, I think are solid plays. I really like both the White Sox guys here. J Happ, I've been kind of targeting him with right-handed power. It hasn't come through yet. Texas let me down last time. I'm pretty damn sure it's going to come through sooner rather than later. You know, hopefully tonight, because I'll be on these White Sox guys. Jose Abreu, a little bit of a slow start to him, but for his season, but we know what he can do. He's the same guy. Hit a home run last night. He's a good option at 4,800, and then his teammate Yermin Mercedes looks like you can't play him at catcher anymore, but fantastic hitter. He's been on fire all season long. OPS over 1,000, and again, J Happ, I'm just not at all convinced that what he's doing is in any way sustainable. So give me some of these White Sox power bats against J Happ.
Love it. JT, thoughts here at first base?
Yeah, I agree with DC on the White Sox. J Happ for the year, a 171 batted ball in play against him. So he's not the type of pitcher. He's not a strikeout pitcher that you could say, oh, well, he's striking out 11 guys a game. That's not his game. So
I mean, if you look at what he's doing against righties, it's like a 4.5 K per 9 against righties, like all the line drives and fly balls. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's somehow surviving off of like outfield fly balls to left and center field. That's the guy I want to roster against, right? I'll take my chance on Yermin Mercedes and Jose Abreu against the guy who's they're probably going to hit a fly ball to the outfield against him. I mean, I'll take my chances that those start going over the fence. I don't think he has some like incredible innate ability to make the fly balls go 360 feet instead of 390 feet. So yeah, give me some of these White Sox bats. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned Muncy. I think a really good play tonight against Justin Dunn in this bullpen. And then the one thing that does stand out to me that immediately the Angels lineup just came out. Yes, Ohtani is priced up, but he's leading off. He's leading off 5.7. I think that's going to significantly lower his ownership. I don't particularly mind picking on Jose Urquidy here.
Yeah.
That's an interesting play to me. Maybe more as an outfielder because there is some depth here at first base. But and outside of that, we saw Vlad Guerrero hit a home run last night. Again, I think at 5.2 his price came down a little bit. If you're going to play the Jays, I wouldn't play them without Vlad.
Man, what is up with this Angels lineup?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. No Mike Trout, Iglesias batting second.
No Trout, Ward. No Upton.
Yeah.
Man.
So, I mean,
brutal lineup.
No Fletcher.
Yeah, just full day off, it looks like, for their core guys.
It's crazy. Yeah, it doesn't change Ohtani, obviously, right? I mean, I still like him pretty much just as much. You're just looking for home runs out of him for the most part.
Yeah.
But someone in Discord asked me about Urquidy, talk about Urquidy when we were talking about pitching. I said, not on him. Still not super excited about it, but he's a lot more interesting than he was 15 minutes ago. I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a massive upgrade for him. I mean, this is as bad as you can get for a lineup.
The other thing about Ohtani is he'll steal bases, and he'll steal a bunch of bases. Yep. So even if they try and pitch around him because you got Iglesias behind him, it's actually the top of the lineup isn't bad because then you have Walsh. So you have to get through those two guys, which for Urquidy I think is going to be a challenge. But he could steal, so they're going to pitch around him.
Yeah, especially with lack of punch. I mean, I would expect him to try to steal to get the team going. So. Yeah, I like Ohtani here, especially now he might become actually a little bit of leverage. People might go to Urquidy given how weak this lineup is. I'm interested to see how much the the Angels team total dropped in the last 20 minutes. I bet it's significant. Unless
I'm looking. It looks like it was a 20. They're minus 130. Now they're minus 152. So I mean, they're going to be definitely under 4, probably.
That line will. I would expect that to keep climbing. I would still like the Astros at number against this lineup.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Anything else at first base, JT?
No, I don't think so.
One more play for me is Drupal Cabrera coming off a big game yesterday.
Yeah.
He's been pretty damn good this year. I really like Arizona in general. They're kind of my favorite stack tonight. Switch hitter, probably going to be hitting out of the 3-hole. Can play him at first or third base, just 3,700. Dude, I really like tonight for sure.
Yeah, I really like Cabrera. Definitely a cash game option. First base, third base.
You got to throw in Hoskins too. Sorry, John Lester. I'll continue stocking against John Lester. Kind of like a little bit of a J Happ situation, right? Just doesn't throwing from the left side, not throwing hard, doesn't have much left. Doesn't always work out, but I'll take my chances against these two dinosaur lefties.
Yeah, I like Hoskins as well. All right, let's talk about some second basemen. Another position that it's not very strong. It's kind of lacking spend up options. For me personally, it's a spot where I'm going to be looking to probably save a little bit of money. David Fletcher was on that list of guys that I was going to potentially play. He's not in the lineup today. So guys, I'll be looking at Marwin Gonzalez, first base, second base eligible. He's been leading off there for Boston, only 3.8K. He'll be in the player pool. Segura, like you just talked about with Lester, picking on him with Hoskins. Segura's batting second. I don't hate him. 4.2K offers that stolen base upside. I guess those are kind of it. The guys I'm looking at right now for kind of cash games. So just going through this, I mean, it's a pretty weak position overall. DC, thoughts here at second base?
Yeah, I do agree. Tough spot. I do like Segura a lot hitting second. His speed has dried up a little bit. Like you can run on John Lester to some extent. I don't know if Segura still has the wheels to do it. Gonzalez is fine, but he's just not a very dynamic, good hitter, right? Like the upside for him is limited. No power, no speed. And I actually think the Oakland pitcher Caprillion is probably better than people think. So I don't think I'm going to play him, but I'm not as high on Boston probably as most others will be. I do like Gavin Lux, who top prospect. He's been, Dodgers have kind of been waiting for him to break out for a couple of years now. Slow start to the year, hasn't looked good, but hit a big home run last night in the eighth inning, I think, to give them the lead. He was pumped up. Listen, it just wouldn't surprise me given his prospect pedigree. Now he's finally getting going, right? Gets that first kind of huge hit of the year. Maybe it's a springboard for him. So 3,500 against Justin Dunn. I think he's a pretty good play as well.
Yeah. JT, options here at second base. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I like Segura. I like Lux. I like Eduardo Escobar for Arizona. 4.6 should be hitting in the 4-hole. I mean, we have no idea. Nobody has any idea, apparently, who's starting for the Marlins. Labs has Castano. Cruncher has Curtis. Someone else. So, but the bottom line is whoever they start is going to be crappy, and they're going to be followed by a bullpen that's numbers are starting to come down to where they should be, which is towards the bottom of the pack in Major League Baseball. If you're not going with Gant, if you're not going to go that route, and like I said, I'm probably only making 10 lineups tonight just because the contests are kind of atrocious too. I might play Colton Wong in one, just 3.6 leading off.
Sure.
He's a guy who will still run. And I think, you don't want to run on Molina, but I think on Gant you can do a lot of things. So that's about it.
Wong's a good shout, and I think Gant has been walking so many guys. The bullpen behind Gant is bad in general, and I also think their two best relievers, Alex Reyes and Giovanni Gallegos, both threw 28 pitches yesterday. I think they both pitched 2 innings. I know for sure Reyes did. I think Gallegos might have too. I expect both those guys to probably be unavailable tonight. So that leaves no good arms in the bullpen behind John Gant, who we know can be wild. I mean, he's been wild every single game. If they knock him out early, you could be looking at a big day for Milwaukee. I know the bats, like the individual names, right? Not an impressive group of names. but any team can do damage against horrible pitchers, and Milwaukee's no exception to that. So I think they're kind of a sneaky stack tonight as well.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Let's keep it moving here. We'll go to we got to save some time at the end. We got the big, if you're just tuning in.
I'm still hoping you're going to forget about it. We're going to get out of here.
No.
I wasn't even going to mention it. You did it to yourself again. I was going to let it go, you know.
You think JT is really going to let that? You really think JT is going to let this slide? Like he hasn't stopped smiling since we got on the air, right?
Yeah.
He surprised me. He got me excited. What can I say?
If you're curious as to what we're talking about, you're just tuning in. DC lost a bet to JT Hayes. Today he's paying up on that bet, and the punishment is he has to shave his head. So what he's going to give us is he's got the shaver, we got the buzzer ready to go. He's going to give us a strip right down the middle, and then we're assuming he's going to finish off the rest of the job. Yeah. If not, he's got a strip down the middle.
Yeah, I'll go with the full shaved head at that point. So it's like I don't know. It's like collateral or something. You know, it's like at this point I got to do it.
I'll accept it. I'll consider.
All right. As long as JT accepts, it's good to go. Yeah. So, all right, third base position. A few options here that I'm kind of looking at. Asdrubal Cabrera, like we talked about, he's first base and third base eligible, 3.7K. Honestly, he's probably my favorite option at the position as it stands now. Travis Shaw, batting fourth, 3.3K. We talked about Gant. He has the issues with the walks. Cheap price tag for him. He offers some upside. Alec Bohm, batting fifth, 3.1K. And then if you're going to spend up all the way up, Alex Bregman, 5.2K. I don't think you need to go there today, especially in cash games. But if you have the money and you want to, sure, that's fine. But I will most likely be focused on those other three guys that I talked about. And you know what? Another guy to throw in the mix, Moncada, too. He's 4.7, a little bit cheaper than Bregman. I don't hate him either. JT, thoughts here at third base?
Yeah, I think if you're playing Philly, Alec Bohm hitting fifth at 3.1 on DraftKings is interesting in this matchup. You have Lester, and then you have a really bad bullpen behind him. A guy that I've used, and I rostered him last night. He ended up hitting a very weak single in the ninth inning. Austin Riley, just 4.0 if you want on a hunt for one home run. But
was that a brag that you got a ninth inning single? Like, what was that all about?
Who?
Austin Riley. He ended up hitting a weak ninth inning single. I was like,
yeah, no, it's absolutely not a brag. I rostered him. He did nothing.
Okay,
not happy with it. But it was against, and that's the difference between Robbie Ray and Hyun-Jin Ryu, right? Ray, he hit guys, he walked guys, he put himself in danger all night long. Ryu's got a 3% walk rate. So I don't know if I'm going to attack him, but if I was, Austin Riley is a guy that I would do it with because he's been really good against left-handed pitching. You talked about Escobar and Moncada and Bregman. I'm not paying $6K for Justin Turner. I'm sure he'll be 1% owned, but I just don't think I can do it.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think the Dodgers, I mean, obviously they're in one of the better spots on the slate, but man, did DraftKings do a number with their pricing. I mean, they're up there. And if you want to stack this team, you are not going to be able to play two of those top tier pitchers. But I mean, I think that's good to do stuff like that every once in a while. A lot of times the pricing's a little bit too soft. So DC, thoughts here at third base?
I agree with you guys. I think the two guys that I would, in a cash game scenario would be Asdrubal and Alec Bohm at 3,700, 3,100. I expect those two guys to be the most popular. We talked about if you're paying down, if you're playing a max free to 6,100, I think this is a good spot. You would only do that in tournaments, obviously, and this would be a spot to spend up because I don't think many people will, right? So you can go all the way up to a Justin Turner at 6K. Like you're going to get him at 1% owned. He could certainly hit 2 home runs, and there you go. That's like getting you to the winner's circle right there and giving you a chance. Even Rafael Devers, 5,900. He'll be a lot more owned than Turner, I think, but still, most people won't be able to pay that if you're paying up for 2 good starting pitching with 2 or 3 really good options for cheap at third base. So if you are spending down at pitching, I would recommend spending up at third base to kind of differentiate yourself from the guys that can't afford to spend, $5,200, $5,800 for a third baseman. Even Alex Bregman. I mean, we haven't mentioned the Astros much, but Andrew Heaney extremely hit or miss. I mean, he throws gems, but in other starts he'll give up 3-4 home runs. It's just really hard to say which one's going to show up. But yeah, Bregman, I mean, a good matchup in theory for him against a fly ball pitcher in Houston. So plenty of spend up options if you want to get different at third base. But I do agree with you guys. Asdrubal Cabrera, Alec Bohm, kind of the two guys that stand out as the best point per dollar plays at this position.
Yep. Do us that favor, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Helps us to continue to bring you guys these videos on a daily basis. Just a reminder, we still have that promo going, RPS Heater 25. You head on over to runpeersports.com, select a monthly package, you get 25% off your first payment. So check us out. And then lastly, we have that partnership going with SuperDraft. If you go to SuperDraft, use the promo code RunPeer, you get a deposit match up to $100. We have a SuperDraft section in our core plays article with picks every day. So head on over to SuperDraft. That promo code is RunPeer. Let's head on over to the shortstop position. And, to me, there's a couple ways to go. I think you can spend. I think you can go ahead and all the way up and go to a guy like Corey Seager, 5.6K. Like we said, those Dodgers guys are expensive, and, he's no different, 5.6K. But I think he's a reasonable spend at the position. And then we get our cheap guy, Jose Iglesias, batting second for the Angels. It's only 2.8K. Some other guys, I guess you could potentially look at. Tim Anderson, he's expensive as well, 5.3. Bogarts, 5.7. It's a kind of weird position. You can go way up or way down. And to be honest with you, with cash games, I could see the argument both ways. I really like Seager, and then Iglesias, I think it is a fine option. On the road, batting second, 2.8K. JT, thoughts here at shortstop?
Yeah, Tim Anderson is a guy that I'm going to have a lot of tonight. And then we've been talking a lot about Diamondbacks bats, and Nick Ahmed has just been on fire, and not just with power or hitting. He stole a base yesterday. I think he stole one over the weekend. So Ahmed, 3.1K on DraftKings. Don't mind him in addition to the other players that you mentioned.
DC, thoughts here at shortstop?
Yeah, to me, Tim Anderson's the guy I'm prioritizing here. This is one position I do feel strongly about. I want to get him into my lineups. Talked, in depth about just the power righties against J-Happ. I think are coming home to roost sooner than later. Hopefully tonight, because I'll have a bunch of White Sox. And I'm not the biggest BVP guy in the world, but I'll pull one out once in a while. Tim Anderson, 16 career plate appearances against J-Happ. 9 for 16 with 2 home runs and a steal, 1,600 OPS. And, obviously, like, part of the reason BVP maybe isn't predictive in all cases is because pitchers and hitters change over time, right? But I do feel pretty confident saying this is the worst J-Happ that we've ever seen. He's 38 years old at this point. And I think this is the best Tim Anderson. I think he's been improving over the years. So I put some stock into those numbers, to be honest. It would be a great matchup regardless, but he's owned him in the past, and I expect him to own him once again this evening.
All right, very good. Tim Anderson, what do you say, 9 for 16?
9 for 16 with 2 home runs and a triple. Yep. That'll work, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big BVP guy either, but that's those are numbers. Those are
when you like the matchup anyway, then you throw that on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, all right, come on.
Well, that's where I think BVP can be.
Yes,
can be deployed. Like, I don't think you should your sole decision should not be BVP. Like, if you like the matchup, you like all the other stuff that goes along with it, and then you see the BVP, it's just an added bonus type thing.
And when it's like a huge number like that, right? He's just crushing him every time up. Yeah,
I can remember when I first started playing MLB DFS, like, I don't know, 9 years ago, I think.
It's been a while.
All I did was pull up the BVP, and I'd see a guy was like 2 for 4 against someone. I'm like, oh, this guy's a lock. He's 2 for 4 against him last time. I'm playing him for sure. That's how I built my lineups for the first few months.
I don't bring it up often, but, when I do, it's something like that, where it's like it makes some sense that it's a matchup you like anyway, and you get hopefully, like, the two guys that are interacting are kind of, reversing sides. Like, Anderson's getting better, Happ's getting worse. It just makes sense to me.
Yep. All right, let's head on over to the outfield position. We have a lot of options. We have some spends. We have some really cheap guys, which is typically the case at the outfield position. Mookie Betts way up there, 6.2K. If you're paying up for pitcher, you probably can't go there, but he'd probably be my preferred, big time spend up if you're going to go that route. At the position, Acuna has a matchup against Ryu, not the greatest, but righty lefty. He's 5.8K. Some of the more reasonably priced guys, Andrew McCutchen, just to kind of continue on. I think we all kind of like the Phillies a little bit. He's 4K leading off. I think that's a nice price tag for him. Verdugo, 4.1K, should be batting second. I haven't seen the Boston lineup. I think he's in the conversation. Taylor Ward, 2.2K for the Angels. He's batting fourth now, so he's your full punt at the position. Soler continue for some reason. DraftKings just refuses to bump the price on Soler, and I mean he's got the upside. He's only 3.3K. He's a guy to consider tonight. Teoscar Hernandez, 3.7K. I think he's an option as well. But as always, a lot of different ways to go at the outfield position. DC, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, kind of the number one guy I'm looking at for me is Andrew McCutchen, who's been turning it on recently. I've been keeping faith in him all year long. I thought he was in for a bounce back season before the year began. He got off to a slow start, but he's always crushed lefties. Gets Lester here. He's playing well. Lead off 4K. So yeah, he's a target of mine. Taylor Ward becomes, an excellent punt. He's got some swing and miss in his game, but a little bit of a power speed combo hitting fourth at that price point. I mean, 2,200, it's, against a solid, but not spectacular pitcher. Hard to turn that down. I would imagine a lot of people go the Taylor Ward route. Can't fault anyone for doing so, to be honest. Other guys, yeah, Acuna, of course, always a great play. If you're not playing Wheeler, I do think Wheeler is going to get some decent ownership. I do like the Juan Soto leverage, right? The one-off against a popular pitcher. Wheeler's good, but it's a lot of fastballs, and Soto just absolutely murders fastballs. So I'm not worried about the matchup for Juan Soto. I am for the rest of the team, but not him. So I think he's a fun kind of spend up. And no Arizona lineup yet, but one guy I'm kind of tracking, I mentioned him yesterday, Josh Rojas for the Diamondbacks. I think is right in the middle of a breakout right now. 15 fantasy points yesterday, hit a triple, power, speed, and against a very, very bad Miami team, whoever they start, right? We don't know who they're going to be pitching today, really, but it's not going to matter. So if Rojas is in there, 4,300, he'll probably be lower in the lineup. Nobody's going to play him, but I think he can really hit. So he'd be a guy if you want a kind of a 2%er on a good team stack anyway. Josh Rojas of the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I mean, assuming he has a bad lineup spot, his ownership should be virtually, he'll virtually be unowned.
Yeah, he'll be like the only one, and us and anyone else, or me and anyone else is willing to go down the ride with me. So,
JT outfield, what are your thoughts?
I'll just add a few guys to the ones that you already talked about. Hunter Dozier, 3.9 against Casey Mize, who's been giving up some home runs. And I think Hunter just missed one yesterday. His advanced metrics, hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball in the air. And then quietly, because it's in Detroit and it's a team that nobody talks about right now, but quietly, Robbie Grossman has been one of the hottest hitters in baseball. Had another really good game last night, had a good game over the weekend. That's about as, like I said, agree with the other players that you mentioned, and those two guys.
All right, let's talk some stacks here. Just so maybe one or two more popular ones and under the radar one. We're getting Mr. Fallick must have an issue with something we said, because it appears that he is joining us on this show. He's not officially on yet, but K Fallick is joining us, it appears. So we must.
I've never done it. I've never had the pleasure of doing a show.
I just want to be in the front row for the draft cheat head shave.
All right. I thought we said something that pissed you off.
JSU should be on in a minute as well. We both decided front row seats are appropriate for this.
All right. But my girlfriend, believe it or not, have a girlfriend. She's watching the show or listening to the show. She's been texting me saying, no, we have a vacation coming up. We're going to San Diego for her 30th birthday in a couple of weeks. I guess she wants me to be looking good for pictures, which I'm sorry, honey, but I wouldn't be looking good anyway. So we'll still be enjoying the vacation. You'll be fine. Just get.
Is there any way? I mean, I don't know if this would work, but is there any way we can get her to come in and do the strip down the middle?
That'd be great.
No, she's at work. She's texting me from afar.
Darn. All right, that would have just made it.
That would have been good.
All right, we'll take you doing it. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. And hey, I mean, you could have proposed to postpone this a little bit. You know, obviously, you got the vacation. I'm sure JT would have said, yeah, you know what, it's no problem. We'll do it in a.
It's too late now. Too late now. No time.
Yeah. Now there's no time.
I mean, now you put yourself on the clock. So yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, once I was on the clock, you can't be texting me during the show. As I said I would do it, I got to do it. So it is what it is.
Well, y'all keep on doing what you're doing. I'll just sit back and get ready for the show.
It's coming soon. We're gonna do some stacks. Who do you like tonight, Fallon?
There's baseball today.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
No, I think there's good takes. I think the Astros are going to be. I hate Heaney. He's like one of my least favorite pitchers. I feel like he can get blown up any day. So the Astros at lower ownership interest me. If the roof is open, both sides of the Miami-Arizona game.
Very good. I mean, it's only fitting that the guy whose play of the day was once named the Supercuts play of the day has decided to join us. JSU, what's going on?
What's up, fellas? What's going on? I like K Phallic, just really wanted to come and have, like you said, a front row seat to the head shaving of DC, our friend. I just felt like I'm here for support for DC, okay? Yeah. I'm not here
to
name DC. All right. Obviously, I forgot to get my hair cut. I literally missed my appointment this week too, which I'm pissed about. So I had to reschedule, and because they're only taking scheduled appointments right now, it's like at least 10 days you have to wait. So I'm mad.
Supercut's got a 10-day wait period. Supercuts 10 days? Come on, they can get you in.
Oh, I don't actually go to Supercuts. I actually lived a mile from Supercuts my whole life growing up. Never went there.
No. All right.
Good stuff. So I don't know if you heard though, but the girlfriend is pleading via text for him not to do it because they have a vacation lined up.
Oh, that's okay.
So there's an interesting dynamic here. So I mean, I think the likelihood of a bail has increased a little bit. I still have faith DC is going to do it.
There's no
some outside pressure.
My concern is roughly 10 minutes from now, I could have a bald strip down the middle of my head and no girlfriend, which that's not a great situation to be in, because it's like, how could I find another girlfriend at that point? I mean, finding one was difficult enough, and now I'm just going to be in all
JT, look what you are about to do to this man. Jeopardize his relationship.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. First of all, women are resilient, number one. Number two, I have faith that a man like DC knows how to manage his relationship. And even though there's going to be some disappointment perhaps about the way that his hair or lack thereof it looks, he's going to make up for it in other parts, right? I mean, that's what this is all about. But, I mean, we got nearly 500 people watching Hoop. There's only 155 likes. Do they even deserve to see him shave his head with that level of interaction?
We better get that up to 200 at least.
That's a very, very strong point.
Do we need to make this a subscriber only?
We don't get.
We're gonna have to unlist. We will unlist the video. I have withheld the plays of the day before if we don't get it. The proper number of likes. Hey, we're not going to say a certain amount of number. Just blow us away. I mean, look at this entertainment. I mean, what more could you ask for? Free show. All we ask is you hit like. You hit subscribe. We have the plays of the day that we're going to get into. And then this is going down. So you don't have much time. I suggest if you're watching, you want to see this happen, just pound it, the like button, subscribe. We'll all be good. Let's just go ahead and hop into the plays of the day so we can, make sure we have adequate time for this shaving. I don't know what DC has planned. I mean, I don't know if he's going to take it and just go right for it, kind of tease us a little bit, put a cape on. We'll see. But, JT, let's go to you first. With the Eiffel Tower plays of the day, who do you got for us?
Yeah, so normally we do a hitter here, but offense has been so spread out, and it's been a little bit of a challenge to pick the best hitters because I don't know whether it's the ball or the umpiring or whatever. But I'm going to go with a guy that I think is going to be not very popular, certainly because people are going to pay up, and a guy who I think can have a really good game tonight. And I'm going to go with Hyun-Jin Ryu. the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
Love it, love it. And that's against your squad, right? I mean, that's against your Brave squad.
Yeah, you got to trust the numbers, and I'm going to punish them by picking against them in the hopes that they wake up and start to hit like the major league team that they're supposed to be. So we'll see what happens. See if it works. Tough love, Poop. Tough love.
Well, hey, it's all right. I mean, hey, I'm from Detroit, so I'm used to taking opposing pitchers against my team. Although it didn't work out well last night because I definitely played that Singer dude, and he got absolutely rocked. So that wasn't all that enjoyable. But all right, DC, going to you next with the Mom's Basement play of the day. Who do you got for us?
Yeah, a pitcher. I say Max Fried gets back in the winner's circle tonight. 6,100. I think he's the cheapest playable pitcher, and I see really nothing wrong with him, kind of analytically. So tough matchup against the Blue Jays, but good pitching environment tonight and super cheap. I think he'll make your lineups a little bit different. So he's my Mom's Basement pitcher of the day. Hitter. Ooh, I got some good options. I'll give one we didn't even mention on the show at outfield. Kind of got interrupted by these intruders over here. Andrew Vaughn, 2,500, rookie for the White Sox. Hasn't done much yet, but the analytics look good to me. A highly touted prospect. He's just 2,500, hitting seventh. Andrew Vaughn gets his first major league home run tonight against J-Happ.
Love that. Another unknown.
I think DC's girlfriend's in chat. Rachel Jordan, is that your girlfriend? Rachel?
There you go. Yeah.
She is. You're not even in the.
Can you read the comments for us?
Yeah, he's not even in the YouTube chat. So let me read it. It says it can be made up on the workbench. I'll forgive you.
Oh, there you go. You better get a double. You better get a 2-for-1. You better go up top, and then you better get the.
I'll be using the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0, getting ready for the bench. It's all good.
There's also a few minutes before that it says bail with like 12 exclamation points.
That's okay. That's okay. She warmed up to the idea. But what did I tell you? Maybe Phallic, maybe we do give relationship advice here.
Yeah.
we could expand our product offering to relationship advice over here.
DC, you weren't here during Thanksgiving, I believe, but Thanksgiving night was a historical night for JT Hayes. It was like the night of all nights. It was special.
What happened? I need a little.
There was a person named Slapshot Mo who decided to show up as a female for a couple hours and decided to attack JT Hayes because the woman Slapshot decided to say that her number one goal was to beat her husband in DFS because he plays too much. So JT started giving relationship advice instead of DFS advice.
No. I said we don't give relationship advice, and then she called me all sorts of ridiculous names that I
very hurtful.
So hurtful. So hurtful. In fact, I had to block Gary for 3 months because he then pissed me off. So it's all good. It's all good.
Well, I mean, DC, you have the stamp of approval now from the girlfriend. I found the comment. It can be made up on the workbench. I'll forgive you. So as long as you perform in the sheets on the workbench, like I think you're good to go, right?
Yeah,
it appears so. Yeah, I'll take K Phallic's word for it. He could be making things up. I'm not in the YouTube chat myself.
No, I'm in there. No, I found the comment. That is a verified comment.
I love how JT Hayes literally just answered it for him. He was like, "Yep, he should be good to go. Like he's gonna make up for you."
It's all good.
He answered it for you.
She said something about a video to share with us later. I don't know what she's talking about, but whatever. You guys work that out. It's good.
This is going down a dark path today, but it's all right.
Hey, I will say this is better than if my girlfriend was in the chat for yesterday's show. That's all I'm going to say, because some of those comments in the chat yesterday were ridiculously funny. But
well, we actually
I don't know if she'd be responding like DC's girlfriend is to the haircut situation right now.
Well, we had the opposite. You had the opposite scenario happen to you. I believe it was football season when we were on the show, and when you had your hair growing out, your girlfriend came in there and said, someone convinced him to go get a hair or something in the chat. Remember that?
Yes. She does not like when my hair gets too long. This is probably too long, but that was way too long.
The hat is off.
I think it might be time. The hat is off. As you can see. The hairline's receding anyway, so I don't have that much to lose. Thankfully, we got that going for us. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to shave one right down the middle here. Right down the middle, right on air. Here we go. Got the buzzer
Here it
going.
goes, folks. Oh, yeah. He's out. Yeah, it's deep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
Nice.
What's
That
that?
clear it out.
Best part is he
clear it
didn't
out,
get
so
the,
you have
he
come
didn't get
back.
the front at all. He only got the top.
Just a little more. Just a little more towards the
Yeah.
front. I'd like to see come off. A little more.
JT says a little bit more. I want that strip complete. It looks like you might have some hair
Let that
fog
strip
in there.
out. You can
Let me-
hide it.
Clear that out.
let me turn
you have
down
the little
the,
brush. A lot of those that come with the brush. There. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
It just happened on YouTube, so here comes all the responses towards it.
Better?
Yes. Yep.
Beautiful.
You got the full landing strip there right in front.
There we
Oh,
go.
just keep that.
Mark, you paid. Paid.
You mark it in the notebook?
It's all
Been
done.
there.
Is
Paid
that hair coming down?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So it's official.
Bet
The bet,
paid. Bet officially paid.
bet has been paid. Nice work. Hey, love to see it. Love to see it.
I mean, that's how you pay a bet right there.
Yeah.
Just boom. Done.
All right.
Absolutely.
I better find
phenomenal
myself
work.
in the winner's circle tonight, or else I don't know. It could be a while on the bench for old DC.
Yeah, if that doesn't bring good mojo, I mean, so you paid up the bet. The girlfriend didn't want you to do it. She comes full circle and says, make up for it in the workbench. Like, if you can't ship tonight, I don't know what to tell you, DC.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Could be a tough one for DC over here.
Telling
Yeah,
you
this
right
is-
now, I might just blindly follow DC's core plays today. He's got good mojo going. He's on it. I'm blindly following him today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
got
mean,
some
we're-
basketball to figure out, JSU. So we gotta just trust people tonight.
we're all about the good mojo here at Run Pure Sports. And if what just happened does not provide good mojo, we're in some trouble here. I think we're going to ship tonight. If you're a member at Run Pure Sports, I mean, definitely, if you play a couple lineups, just play DC's core in at least one team. That's all I'm asking. Have a feeling some good things are going to happen tonight for the whole team. So, DC, thank you for paying up the bet.
Always.
JT, obviously, thank you for being here. So DC had to pay up the bet. K Fallick, thank you for joining and getting your front row seat. JSU, thank you as well for joining and getting your front row seat. We got NBA show coming up in about, I think, 15 minutes. We have JSU and Holden that will be taking you guys up to lock. Answering all
Actually,
the
we got a scheduling change here. No Holden today, so Mr. Big T will be joining me on the Up to Lock show. Maybe Mr. K Fallick too.
I'm going to attempt to attend.
I'm
Uh,
trying to
let
talk
me
him out
also
of
say
doing.
Give big props to Simon here because he's going to be putting together some great videos of this, and I'm pretty excited for it. When all of us win tonight after DC shaves his head, there's going to be some good promo videos coming.
Make one hell of a promo video. I mean, just imagine the possibilities with the guy shaving his head live on air, and followed up by some winners. It's going to be good. So, check out all the shows. So, JSU and Big T and K Fallick will be on the Up to Lock show. NBA, obviously, this time of year, going to be tons of stuff to talk about and discuss. Just saw LeBron James unlikely to play. So, the news is starting to sprinkle in. The Up to Lock show is part of our premium product at Run Pure Sports. We still have that promo going, RPS Heater, that gets you 25% off your first payment on a monthly package at Run Pure Sports. RPS Heater 25 is that promo code. For JT, for DC, for the special guest, JSU and K Fallick, I am Hoop. Good luck tonight in your contest. We are shipping tonight. Let's go.